All systems go. Let's see. Okay, here we go. A couple seconds and then you'll be on. You're live.
I am on. Wonderful. Hi, everyone. Welcome back from the fun we had last night. Did you see PJ's Instagram post? Godzilla had Baby Lock Regalia and a venture, and he was about to destroy the town. Yes, it was a monster sale last night. So it was a lot of fun. It was Steve's birthday, and thank you all for your orders. So now, what I'm going to start with today is, so the first one of these I went easy, okay, just with 3 scallops, just made it easy. One piece of fabric, and then I said no, it's boring. I'd like smaller scallops, so I did it, and it looks great until I went to turn it. And it's like really hard to turn, and it looks really messy. Like PJ showed them how mine turned out, and I poked all the way through with my turning tool. And so I said, I don't like that. I don't like it. I want it to look as good as it looked up here. And I thought, but I don't want it to be hard. So I switched to this way. Okay, so I have a little piece of fabric down there. I didn't have to fancy fill it. I just thought it would kind of bring it together with this part. But look at how nice the scallop looks. Now I got Joni's opinion. I said, which one do you like better? And she told me she liked this one. So I thought I would give you updated instructions on how to do this one. But after we do that, I am so excited about the next project. So you know how I can't sleep, probably like all of you can't sleep. And I found this picture on the internet. Can you zoom in on that? This is what inspired me. I thought, wow, look how cool that is. So it's cathedral window and little petals in between. Well, I looked at it and went, you know what? I really think it's cool. It is, but something's missing. So I kept looking around, seeing if there was any other table toppers like it. And so I went here. Now look at that. This, it's upside down. So I'll just go like that. Yep. Okay, so now they can say, look at that. So it's Christmas, and it's too early to do Christmas. But I thought we're going to do it as a sunflower. So as a big yellow flower. And so I want you to notice, though, there's more petals on this one than there is on this one. So this one, the cathedral window with 1 petal, and it's kind of freestanding, so we can kind of make it 3D. Okay, so look at this one. This one has cathedral window with 2 petals, and I like that better. And it looks to me like they're just overlapping, and we're just going to tack it down. So this week, I want to go over this, the new improved way, and then I want to show you how I did the circles. Okay, and then next week, I'm going to show you how to sew them together. I started to, and so I started, and so this one is going to go like this. You need 4 of these circles, so that's going to be your homework. Okay, 4 circles. That's going to open up like this, about like that. No, just up to half. Oh yeah, it's going to go to there. Okay, so about right there. Okay, and there will be another petal here, and then another petal here, and another circle. Okay, so so now what I picked, I wanted a fabric that would really contrast with the yellow, so I'd really see it. So I found this one with a black background, and I really like it. But if you even want to go more contrasting, I may sew mine again and just not have a fabric that is so busy, although I think it's still going to look good. I'll finish this one, and then I'll do another one just to give you an idea of how using different fabrics. And of course, we are going to be ready to do it in Christmas fabric, but none of us are in the mood for Christmas yet, right? We're thinking summer, right? And so my sunflower will be late summer. So we're already sewing for late summer. But wouldn't it be neat to use a fall fabric and sunflowers? Because sunflowers, to me, they're late August or sunflowers. So I'm really excited about this. It gives us a way to show off our fancy fills, and we love doing that. And it's really very easy. So okay, so we're going to go over to the machine. So what I have ready is so at home I used the 10 5/8 by 10 5/8 hoop. And so I'm wasting less stabilizer, but I could do a circle down at one end, and I could fit a couple of the yellow leaves at the other. So we'll plan that next week. So I can't fit 2 circles unless you want to go with a smaller circle. So you could do an 8-inch. Oh, the circle, how big is it? This one, I wanted to make it as big as I could, so it ends up 10.3 inches wide. So yeah, 10.3 by 10.3, because I wanted it to cover enough. Now I have to look at that picture, this picture. Let's just look at it real quick. And this one is also 4 circles, and they look pretty big. So I'm thinking we want to make our circles as big as we can to give it. And so it looks like they made 3 sets, sewed them together, and then they have a table runner. So I think it's really neat. And I wanted to show off my fancy fill stitches. So I did the fancy fill in a contrasting thread, but you certainly could have a thread that blends in. But who wants to do that? We want to show them off, right? So it's really easy and it's really fun. So, okay, so I am going to start with the banner. So I think I will just have this fabric ready. I think I'm just going to put the hoop in the machine, even though that's going to be the second project. So I want to go over my new improved, we call it a wall hanging. So new improved, welcome to our home. And I think I can't wait to see what you all do to make it creative, maybe changes that you make that make it even better. I've seen that time and time again. I'll show something and then people will use their own imagination and they'll come up with a better way to do it and post pictures on our group page. We all love that. It keeps us all going. So yes. Oh yeah. So Judy, yes, you are to tack these down. So I did zoom in on the picture and they tack those down with a straight stitch. But then these petals, the extra petals, they are going to be, both sides yellow, both sides finished, and they will be just tacked down in the center. So I'm thinking it will make it look kind of 3D. So I think it's so hi from the villages. How's the weather in the villages? Actually kind of cold here today. When I checked in my car, it was only 71. That's pretty cold compared to what it's been. Okay, so we are going to go over to the machine, and I'll jump up and grab stuff if I need it. I think I'll slide this in. And so I want to go over welcome to our home one more time. This time I think I have it perfected. And then I got the paper for this one. So when I'm positive I have the sunflower ready to post, we will post it. But we're going to go over this. Oh, PJ, I probably need a pen. Let me see if there is one here. Yeah, there's a pen. Okay, good. Okay. So we're good. And all right. Okay, so I'm just going to go home and okay. And whenever somebody wants to see it, I have the little welcome to our home right here. Now, I went with gold because the gold, there's little dots of gold. And after I did it, I went, oh, I don't know whether I like the gold or not. So you could put whatever you want on. See how there's little dots of gold in the fabric? That's from Timeless Treasures' new Illusion line. And it's just so pretty, isn't it? Okay, so we just found a gray spool cap. Okay, make sure. Okay, so I like to use a mouse. I just have more control with it. I do better with a mouse than I do with a stylus. So so I recommend that. We sell them. We can ship it to you. All right. Okay. So we're gonna switch to the screen.
Okay. We're on the screen.
And I am gonna go to IQ Designer. Don't you love this? I just love it. I think for now, I am going to get rid of the grid. I had the grid on for our next project, for the sunflower. So I'm going to take the grid off. So I'm going to go up to the settings page. And here it says 1-inch grid. Press the arrow. I don't want any grid. I don't want anything blocking our way. And then OK. And that will get rid of the grid. Okay, so first thing is shapes, the square. OK. And I just decided that I wanted this one a little longer, so I could slide this here, right?
Yeah.
I wanted it a little longer than the others because I knew I was going to have a little extra fabric. So instead of the other ones that I did were 10-inch by 12-inch, and I just decided on this one to make it 10-inch by 13-inch. So first we're going to go to size, and then, now if you have the Solaris Vision, you'll just go up to the keypad, and you're going to put in your height first, 13 inches, set. And then the width next, 10 inches, set. And then OK. Now, we're going to need this later. So we're going to go memory, save on the machine. You've got a couple different, a bunch of different memories. You've got Stitches memory, a memory where we keep our embroidery designs, and then there's a memory where we keep all of our IQ Designer projects in. So we've saved it on the machine. Now, how do I want this? First thing I want to do is do a placement line so I know where to position my batting. Then I want to tack down the batting. And then I want to tack down the fabric, okay? So first one is we're going to go to line properties, straight stitch, red, and that is step 10, okay. Line bucket, so it's not going to do any changes yet because I haven't changed the black line to red yet. So we go line bucket and click on the line. And to turn it red, which is telling the machine I want it to do a straight stitch. Okay, but you could have picked any color. I just like to always pick red because you could really see that you clicked in the right spot when you see it change from black to red. Okay, next, set. Now this is where you tell it the stitch length, and stitch length doesn't matter. This 0.080 is actually a 2 millimeter stitch, and that's fine. So set, and then okay, so it's warning you, did you save what you just made? Because you're not going to be able to come back. And yes, we did save it. So okay. Okay, now I need another one. So this one is the placement line. I need a tack down line for the batting. So edit, copy. Look at, they're not one on top of the other. Okay, so we need them right on top of the other. So I'm going to go to move, center it. How's that look? That looks perfect. It looks like there's only one. So that's perfect. So now I know that it's one on top of the other. And then, but if you want to double check, if you're not sure, you can press the select button and center. Okay, now I need another one to tack down my fabric. And the first fabric that I put down for this one was the Fairy Frost. So the Fairy Frost, and so a whole piece of Fairy Frost. Then a couple steps later, I laid down my floral fabric, and then I tack that down at the scallops, and the box will sew out, and we'll trim away the excess. Okay, so now I need another one of these rectangles in order to tack down my solid fabric. Let's say we used Fairy Frost. So edit, copy, it's not in the center. So move, center. That dot right there is the center. one right on top of the other, it looks good. If you want to double check that you have 3 steps, just press edit, then edit again, and there they are, 1, 2, 3. So I've got my placement, tack down a batting, tack down a fabric. So we're doing good. All right, now we are going to go and add. So add IQ Designer, pocket with the arrow pointing out at the top. Okay, and then we are going to pick the empty rectangle. Now, okay. Now I want to add the scallops to it. So I am going to go to shapes again. So shapes again, the curly Q, which they call it open shapes, and then the scallop, which is 01. Now and then okay. Now how big is this size? It is 6.58 inches wide. I know that I made my rectangle 10 inches. I know I want 5 scallops. You could do 4, you could do whatever you wanted, but I want 5 scallops, and so I know 5 scallops, so 10 divided by 5 is 2 inches for each scallop. So I need the 3 scallops to be 6 inches, okay? We're doing high school math. Is that high school math or middle school math? I don't know.
Maybe middle
Who knows?
school.
Yes.
It's been so long.
It's been long. Okay. So this time I can't use the keypad because I don't know what the dimensions are going to end up. So this time I'm going to press the box with the 4 arrows pointing in, and I'm watching those numbers. And when that bottom number gets to 6 inches, there we are, then I'm good. All right. Move the 3 scallops down to the bottom of the screen so we can work on them and we won't affect that rectangle. We're going to move them into place later, but so see, I moved them down and over to the left. So, okay. They're still selected. So let's say you deselected. I just want to show you. Sure. Deselected. Oh no, I need to do something to it. Just press undo. So undo at the bottom. Oh, it put it right in the center again. So now, but it's selected now. So there. Now I want another one. So I'm going to press copy. So that's the button right below rotate. It's got a solid square and a dotted square. So there's the copy. Move it so it connects. And that's kind of hard to see. And so I kind of move it. I'm looking right here and I'm still not sure. So I'm going to go, and I seem to always go to 400, and I'm going to see if I can make that slider bar go down. There we are. Okay, we're in a good spot right there. Okay, and I'm just going to move it just a little bit, but I don't do good clicking on it and moving it. I do better if I either press size or rotate so that they both have the same buttons, and then I can just bump that up into position. I think I did really good. I'm going to make it off a little bit. So you can see right there, I'm off a little bit. It wouldn't have mattered though. Okay, so there I am. I'm connecting, all right? And, you know, one isn't higher up than the other. Okay, so I want to make sure they're both at about the same height. And remember, we're zoomed in 400%, so it doesn't have to be perfect. Because when you zoom out to 100, it's going to look perfect. Okay, now deselect. So how you deselect is you select outside of the object. So I'm going to go way up the top and just click, and now it's deselected because I want to erase this part that I don't need at the bottom. Okay, and again, I needed to zoom in. So I'm going to go to 400, slide that bar down. You can use your pan button. Let me do pan this time. And then I just click on the screen and slide it up. Okay, click on the screen and slide it over. There we go. Okay, and then eraser. And let's see how big that eraser is pretty big. I would probably end up erasing too much. And so I'm going to go down to 10 on my eraser size. And then there, I think that's going to be more manageable. Because when I get here, I did good. But see, there's a little, and I'm going to erase the rest. There's a little thing there. That won't matter. So the little tiny bit extra there, don't worry about it. Okay, now, okay, zoom back out to 100%. Now I want to select the whole thing. So if you have a Solaris, you have an easy selecting tool. So it's right next to memory. It's a dotted box. Click on that and you have a bunch of options. And this was like the best invention in the whole world, the magic wand. So I'm going to click on the magic wand and click on that scallop and it just grabs that scallop. So I'm going to deselect again. So those of you that have the Meridian, Altair, and Destiny, you're going to need to do this box select. So what I do is I'm going to click and drag around it. So I'm just finding a spot that's like in the upper left. I don't want to catch that bottom of my square. And then I'm going to select it. And then up, it's selected. And now, okay, so my rectangle is 10 inches wide. I want this to be just a little wider than 10 inches because I want to make sure that it intersects the line, because when I fill in an area, if I don't have it intersect, it's going to fill the whole screen. So we're going to go to size, and I want to make it, see, it's 9.97 wide. That won't intersect. There'll be a hole on either side. And so I want to make it a little bigger. So I'm just going to go to this box with the 4 arrows pointing out. And I want you to go up to 10.2. So it took about, what, 20 clicks? There's 10.2. Then I know it's a little bit bigger than the 10 inch. And first I'm going to click center. Oh, see, it didn't center it. And I think it's because it's still taking into account what I erased. So we have to manually center it. Okay, so I'm liking it there. I think I'm good. And then I want to make sure, okay. And I wanted to move it up just about a 1/4 inch from the bottom. But what do you think? You could do it. I'm almost feeling like it could have been a little bigger down here. You could make it uniform with the top. I could have moved that one up. So whatever you like. So there's the top. I guess I had seen a picture of a little wall hanging and I was trying to copy it. So that's where I get my inspiration a lot, is just pictures of things I found on the internet. Okay, so this time I'm going to leave it a little bigger down there. All right, so I'm good there. Then okay. Now I need another one to put up at the top. So I'm going to change to the next page. So far, no changes needed to be made. And we're on step 43. I'm going to press copy. So it's right below rotate. Copy. And then let's go and move that up. So I like to use my arrows. Kind of, if I have a long way to go, I'll move it up. And I kind of wanted a heading, so you decide how you want it, but definitely post a picture to inspire everybody else. So I'm thinking that's looking really good, but I want to double check that it's touching. I'm worried about this side right here. So let's just go to 400% again, and then we'll slide up. So I can use the slider bar and slide it up, and then slide it over. There. Oh, yeah, I'm intersecting, so that's good. And the other side, I think it looks good. Okay, so we're going to go to 100%. But then what I like to do is I go to just fill bucket, and I like to click in an area. There's no holes. If there had been a hole, the whole area would have filled. So I don't have a hole anywhere. So I want you to double check that you don't have a hole. That's the only reason why we did that, and I'm going to undo it. Okay, that was just to test it. Now we've got a new shape that we worked hard on. Let's go memory, save on the machine. Now I want to put the center in, and so we're going to get the shapes again, this time 01 the square. Okay. And I decided on the size. I kind of said, okay, I want at least 1 inch of my fabric on either side, so at least 1 inch. I wanted enough room. Like you could put a saying, an embroidery design in the center. So I wanted lots of room in the center. So I just thought 8 by 8 would work out good. So you can make it any size that you want. So, so the square is selected, the red boxes around it. Go to size, and then I'm going to use the keypad and go 8-inch set, 8-inch set, and then OK. So there it is. Now position it where you want it. So see how there's a lot of space down here and there's not very much space up there? I'm going to click on size so I can get to my arrows and just go down a little bit. And I'm just eye judging it. I'm thinking, that's looking good to me right there. So you could turn on the grid. So go up to settings. And maybe this time I would want the smaller grid. So the 3/8 grid, OK. And I'd count, OK, at the bottom, I am 2¼ blocks above the bottom. Here, the top, I'm at about 2. So if you want it perfectly even, move that a little bit more. So I'll go there. I want to, there. Now it's more even. But do you see how the grid is in our way now? It's really hard to see. So go back up to settings, 3/8, click on that, and go to no grid. OK. All right. So we moved it to the center in the open area. To do that, we press size, and then we moved it around with the arrow until we like what we saw. Now we did more work. So we need memory, save on the machine. OK. Next one is, okay, what do we want to sew out next? So we have our fabric. We have our plain fabric tacked down. Before I tack down the floral fabric, I want to put my fancy fill in because I want that underneath. Then I'm going to tack down my fabric. So I don't want it to sew out these other lines. I don't need it. I just need these shapes there. So first we're going to go to line properties, no sew. I don't want it to sew it. If it sewed it, it wouldn't harm anything. It would just be a straight stitch, but it wouldn't sew out as fast. So I like to go no sew, OK, line bucket, click on the lines to make them no sew. All we want to do is sew the fancy fill. OK, so all of them are gray. If we need to double check, click on it, listen, and I'm getting that error message. It's saying you already clicked here. It already is doing a no sew. Now, fill properties. This is the fun part. Fill properties is this little piece of paper with a filled in block behind it. Fill properties, fancy fills, which is the circle fill, then select, and you have all your fills there, just beautiful fills. Okay, maybe this time, well, I'm going to go with my directions, but the second time that you do it, pick a different fill. Okay, so I went down to 034, and OK. Blue, I haven't used that color yet, and I just like to see different colors. Every time you change the color, it'll be a color change for you. So, OK. Fill bucket, so right above that, the properties page, click on the bucket, and then click in the top scallop. It fills it. And then click in the area below the bottom scallop. So just click there, and there we go. All right. Now I need to fill in the block. I picked that lattice with the stars, so I'm just going to stay with it. But you could pick whatever you want. And so we're going to go to Fill Properties again. Select. And then let's look for that lattice with the stars, which is 016. Okay, so 016. Okay. And then I want to make sure that I am on the right spot. Okay, there we are. Step 71. And then green and OK. Fill bucket. So here's my fill bucket is already on. So see how it's a light blue instead of being white? So, but you can click it again just to be sure, and then click inside your square, and it's going to fill it with the lattice. Okay, I like what I see. Can I put anything else on? If at this point I sew anything else, we don't know what order the machine is going to decide to sew it. So if I put, well, I want to tack down the fabric. So if I put my next step in, what I found was, like, let's say I wanted to put the satin stitch on the scallop. The machine decides what order, and it may put the satin stitch in before it sews the fill stitch. And so it'll come back and do the fill stitch, and it will hit that satin stitch, and it won't look good. So that's why you have to kind of do it step at a time. Say, what do I want it to sew next? So this is good. I'm just going to have it sew the fancy fill. So click on next. Now, let's take a look at it. It's like, you really can't see it down here very good, and I just think it's a little too big for the size of the project. So I went down from 100% down to 75%. But I just played around with it. Like, I went to 85, and I waited, and I watched to see what it looks like, and I thought, that's better, but let me see what it's going to look like a little smaller. I went to 75. And I thought, okay, that looks good. Should I keep playing with it? Because look, there's not a lot of detail down there. I could have done, oh, but look. I'm not linked together. Do you see how this fancy fill is smaller than this one? I should have pressed link so it would change both of them at the same time. So let's link. And it always does this. It has no number in there now. So just click on it and take it down to the 75. And I'm going to click on it, but watch this bottom area. It wasn't changing. No wonder it didn't look good. There. So I'm getting more detail. I think I'm going to like it better. And here's me. I said, if I make it any smaller, it's going to take an hour and a half to sew out. So 75 was good enough for me. But you can just play with it as much as you want. Now, what's going to happen here, if I leave it this way, it's going to stop and cut the jump stitches in a bunch of these places, and it's going to take forever to sew out. So I like to turn the outline on. So outline on, and then okay, and watch here when it's going around, and you'll see it connected all those open areas. So now it's not going to cut the jump stitch. So it makes it sew out a lot faster. So I put that on an awful lot. So, okay. Now click on the arrow till you see the lattice in the window. And I mean, I would leave it that size, but I just like you to see what happens. So I went down to 90% and okay. I thought, okay, that looks good. Now, my first two, I used metallic to do the lattice. And this time I just used the white exquisite thread, and I really like the metallic so much better. Like a silver metallic would have been really pretty. So just keep that in mind. You decide what thread you want to use. All right. Now, okay. So there. So we turn. Now this one, same thing. I don't want to have it stop and cut these jump stitches. So I'm going to go outline, on, and okay. Next one is set. Okay. Now we need to add. So what's my next step? So I sewed my fancy fills. My next step is to tack down my fabric. So the floral fabric. So add IQ Designer. Your project disappears and you worry that it's gone, but it isn't gone. Pocket with the arrow pointing out. That's where your designs, your pictures that you have saved are. So we've got the wall hanging with both scallops and the square. Okay. All right. We want to break the line. So I at this point, I want to tack down the fabric here, straight down, and the scallops. I don't want to tack down my fabric at that top or the bottom. So I need to break that line and erase the top and the bottom. So first thing, I'm going to go to the eraser. And you know, I always zoom in. So I'm going to go to 400. You might be okay going to 200. Let's just see. Let's press pan and slide over. See me, I need 400. I just feel better at 400. So I still have pan on. Click on my screen until I can see it. There it is. So I just need to break that line right there. So eraser, and then it's on 20. That's an awful big dot. I think I'm going to go down to 10, somewhere around there, and then just break that line. Now remember, it's just going to do a straight stitch. Oh, I did it like perfect. I was going to say, if you left a little bit of the line in there, it won't matter. So now I need to go get the other side. So I'm going to click on the slider bar and go across, and then I'm going to just break that line. So this time, I'm not going to worry about it. I'm not going to worry about that messy spot. It's just going to sew a straight stitch. And actually, this is going to be in the seam allowance, so that won't matter. So I broke the top line. Now let's take the slider bar and go all the way down. And so I want to break it right here because I want floral fabric here. I want this to remain that solid fabric. So I'm going to go here and go up. If I bump that, just go undo and try again. The eraser is still highlighted, so it's still on. And see, I left a messy spot, but it's not going to matter. Okay, then slide over. And same thing. Oh, no, down here. So I don't want to break it up here. I want this to be tacked down. I don't want this part. Oop, oh, I bumped it. So there, undo. So try again. So sometimes if I start on the outside and I come up. So it, like I said, you can leave a little bit of it. Let's go to 100. All right. So we broke the line. Line properties. We want to tell it we don't want it to sew that. So, oh, first we're going to tack down. So we're going to go straight stitch, red, and okay. Line bucket. And then I'm changing to the next page. So I'm step 99. Click on the box and one of the scallops. So the box turned it red, one of the scallops, and look, it turned that whole area red because it's all connected. So that's why I just said just one scallop will do it. Then line properties. So back up here to where you tell it how you want it to sew out lines. So line property, no sew, okay. Click on the line at the top and the bottom. So line bucket, then click on the line and turns it gray. It's kind of hard to see that it's gray, but listen. There it told me, oh, you did already click. There. And if you wanted, oh no, it's doing it again. There, I did it. It took me 2 clicks that time. Okay, because it's just such a thin line. Now, next. Okay. Now, oh, I didn't tell it how to sew it, right? Oh no, I did a no sew. So I clicked somewhere wrong. So let's return. Okay, so I clicked on everything. So I want this to be straight stitch. So let's go. No, it won't let me undo. Okay, so I need to tell it to do the straight stitch again. So, okay, let me double check I'm telling you the right thing. Straight stitch, tack, tack, red, okay, line bucket. So yeah, I clicked on no sew again by mistake. So line properties, straight stitch, red, okay. Click on one of the scallops and that turned the whole area red. So I guess I must have clicked on it. So right now, let's just double check. Let's go line properties, no sew, okay. Click on the top line and the bottom line. I was just clicking too much. Now, next. So this is what I want to see. I want to see the scallop and the box. It's going to do it as a straight stitch. That's exactly what I want. I just want to tack down my fabric. Okay, so we're going to click on set. But you know what? We did a lot of work. Let's save this. Memory, save on the machine. Set. Okay. Okay, so there we are. We are looking good. Okay. Okay, now what do I need to add? Well, right now I have these unfinished edges around the box and the scallops. So I want to add satin stitch on both scallops. And then I also want to add a candle wicking stitch around the box. Okay, so we're going to go add IQ Designer, pocket with the arrow pointing out. There they are, the red scallops and square. So here, guess what? I didn't save it, did I? So did I told you to save it, but I didn't. So I have the red scallops and the square. Well, let's see what happens. This might be no sew. So let's click on OK and see what comes up. No. So it's going to sew that as a straight stitch. So I didn't save it when I broke the line. Let's go in and look at it. So I told you to save and I didn't do it myself. So let's go over here and see that line is not broken. So I need to go erase and break the line. Remember, I usually go to a smaller eraser. Oh, no, it is broken. It is broken. Oh, okay. So I did save it. So there it is. Let's double check on the other side. So I guess it's showing me the no-sew line. No, because look at this. It's going to do a zigzag. Okay, so let's go to 100. All right, so I don't want it to sew this. And it looks like the no-sew is not in this window. So I'm going to go into line properties. No-sew. Okay. Line bucket. Click on the top line and the bottom line. And then memory, save on the machine. So now I saved it, but I'm in here, so I'm okay. All right, now, okay, so let me see. Okay, so we got, now, if we went in right now, I'd go in and I would see the scallops and the square. Okay, so right now I have no sew here. I have straight stitch here. I don't want it to stitch this side line. So I need to break that line again. So I need to break it here, here, there, and there, 4 places. Because all I wanted to do is sew a satin stitch on that scallop, a satin stitch on this one, and a candle wicking on the square. So I need to break that line. So we're going to go into click on the eraser, zoom in to 400%, slide, and I think I'm going to use pan this time, slide till you can see that area, click on the eraser, and I'm going to, it doesn't matter how much you erase there, I'm just going to erase it. I don't want, so if I leave that little bit there, it's going to satin stitch that. Let's zoom in to 800 and pan and go over and try to do it again. So I'll click on the eraser, and here, see now my eraser is way too big. I'm going to go down, because I'm zoomed in so far, and I'm at 5, and it's still kind of big. Here I am at 2. I just want to bump that. I did good. Okay, I thought I caught the line there, but I'm good. So I'm going to slide the bar over and break the line. So break the line right here. So I've got my eraser and bump it there. But here again, I left like a messy spot. So I'm going to try to clean that up. If you click too far, that's not going to matter. It really won't. That one little dot, I wouldn't worry about it. Now, let's slide the slider bar down. Oop, too far. And we're going to break that line. Okay, clean up any little spots. There, that looks good. Okay, slide over. So get the slider bar and slide over. Remember, I'm at 800%. So I need to, now did I break it at the right spot? Let me check. Yes, up above. Okay, so I want to break it up above. Okay, clean it up if there's a little piece that might not matter. You know, they improved on IQ Designer every time they brought out a free update. They improved it, and I did notice that those little mistakes, they don't sew those out anymore. So, but I'm just so used to cleaning them up that I decided to do that. Okay, now I'm going to go back to 100%. Okay, so we broke the scallops away from the sides on the right and left. Okay, line properties. Let's tell it how we want it to sew the scallops. So line properties, zigzag, purple, here's a purple, and okay. Then line bucket, and click on both of the scallops and turn it purple. It's kind of hard to see. Black to purple is hard to see, but I can see it. So both of them are purple now. Okay, line properties. Candle wicking.
Do you have
blue.
One more to break?
What's that?
Do you have one more to break? Did you miss one?
You have one more to break, but we will see. If I didn't break it, we will know in a minute. Okay, I might. I thought I broke them all. So we'll know. We'll know in a second. Okay, so candle wicking, blue, okay. Click on the box to turn it blue. Okay, so now line properties. I don't want it to sew these side lines. I don't want it to sew the top or the bottom. All I want it to sew are the scallops and the candle wicking. So line properties, no sew, okay. Then let's click the top one and listen. Oh, it's already a no sew. Let's click the side. Oh, it's already a no sew. This one, no sew, and this one. Oh, that one wasn't a no sew. Now it is. So the bottom one wasn't a no sew. All right. So then, okay, click on the lines. Now next, and we should just see the satin stitch and the candle wicking stitch if I did it right. Oh, I'm missing a satin stitch. So go back, return. I must have clicked on no sew. I don't know. Or maybe I do have to break the line. Well, we'll see. Okay, so now I got to go back and tell this one to do the satin stitch. So line properties, satin stitch. Whoops, move it up a little bit. Satin stitch. There. And then purple and okay. And the bottom scallop. Oh, line bucket and the bottom scallop. There. Okay, now let's check it. Next. I should have 2 scallop satin stitch, yes, and 1 candle wicking. Okay, now the satin stitch. So the satin stitch is in the window. I want to change them both at the same time. So I'm going to link them together. And I'm going to go from 2 millimeters. So I know that this 0.080 inches is 2 millimeter, but I don't, I like 4 millimeter for my satin stitch. So I'm going to go up to settings, page 9 of 12. Top it says inches, and I'm going to change it to millimeters. I'm just used to setting my stitch width in millimeters. So now I know that's 2 millimeters wide, and I know from doing it, I don't like it that narrow. So 2 millimeter, and I'm going to go up to 4, and okay. And we should see both of them change to the wider. And there we go. It's looking good. Now, when I did this one, I didn't change the density, and after I sewed it, I didn't like it. It wasn't bad, but and so I sewed it twice, but to eliminate having to sew it twice, take your density up a little bit for the satin stitch. So click on the 100% button and take it up to 110. Notice it's gray. It won't let me go up any higher. So, okay. So we changed. Now, I didn't do that in your directions. Okay. So if you're not using the metallic thread, you should be okay. But I like it really thick. So, okay. If you like it different, do it different.
Did you save?
I didn't save yet because I
Oh.
got to change my candle wicking
Okay.
now. Okay, so now I want to press this arrow so the candle wicking is in the window. Okay, so let me make sure. Okay, click. Okay, satin stitch. So now we're on step 136. Okay, select so you see the candle wicking in the window. I only had to press it once. There's only 2 things in here. There's only zigzag, the satin stitch, and, oh, but there's 2 sets of satin stitch, and then there's the candle wicking. So you just press these arrows, and then, so size up. So right now it's 4 millimeter. And when it's doing candle wicking, I like it in inches. So I'm going to go back up to settings, page 9 of 12, go to inches, and okay. So now I know it's 0.160 inches. They're only about 1/8 of an inch. I liked it at this size, but the other one the other day, I didn't make it up very high. And so I decided I like it a little wider. So we're going to click on that button. Let me make sure. So I'm on step 136, and we're going to go up to 0.2. Now, why did I decide that? So I went up a little bit farther, okay, and I looked at it. And one thing I don't like, and I know, oh, this one looks good. Look at 1 candle wicking stitch in each corner. But it still isn't very big. So I'm going to go up a couple more and check it. See what I think. Oh, look at that. So see how there's 2 candle wicking? I'm going to zoom in and pan. So see 2 there. I don't like that. So I just went up by 2 bumps. 1, 2. Tried again. Just waited. And I just kept going up, up, up. Oh, that, I like what I see, but I want it bigger still. So up a couple more bumps. Okay. And I just wanted to play with it. So, oh, that's good. But I want to see it just a little bigger. So I went up 2 clicks, and I kept going up, up, and I went up to 0.240. Okay, 240, but let's go up to 244 and okay, see what we think. No good. See, there's 2 of them in the corner. So went to 244, went down to 240, and waited, clicked, and now I only have 1, and I wasn't going to press it. I wasn't going to take my chances. I'm happy now. It's each one is at almost 1/4 inch, so they're nice and big. You could go really big if you wanted. You could make them as big as you want. So it's just it'll take longer to sew them out. That's all. Okay, so spacing. Because I'm going to have a raw edge of fabric where I trim away. Remember, I'm going to lay the floral fabric down. We're going to do a straight stitch. Then we're going to trim away the inside, and I'm going to have a raw edge. So I do like to bring the spacing closer together. And I was just guessing at it, and I just went down to 0.012 and okay. You could go closer if you wanted, but you might throw off your 1 candle wicking in the corner. So I was happy with that. I think, that's pretty close together. I think we're going to be fine. So now the next button is set. So I made my changes. Oh, I saved that shape. So I'm okay. So okay. Now what do I need? Now I need the saying to be in the window. I want to go over this again because it took me so long for this to, for my brain to remember. Okay. So now I want to add to it, and I want to add the letters. Okay. The letters, pick a font. I always go to this 1/7, but you pick whatever font you like. I also like 16. There's a whole bunch of them that I like. So I just think this one's cute with that little curly Q. So I'm going to go to the 17, And then we're going to do welcome to our home again. But I do see on our group page that people are putting happy birthday, happy anniversary. They're putting a design with it. So first one I want to do is welcome. And I decided I wanted to do that in all capitals. So WELCOME. Welcome. And I want that to arc. So click on array and arc over. It's awful. It's like too much of a curve. So these buttons down here, and I'm going to increase it. And I just kept pressing down, and then all of a sudden it wouldn't let me do it anymore. So I had to be happy at that. So it looks good to me. So welcome. So I'll press OK down here. Then return. Okay, so the return is right here. But remember, there's a return here. So you don't want to pick the wrong one, because I did. So this return, which is right under delete. Okay, return, then to, and I want that in lowercase. So lowercase T-O, then return, our, and I wanted that capitalized. O, lowercase, then U-R, our, return, home. So capital H, lowercase O-M-E. Okay, so I have everything on the screen, so I'm going to press set. If I don't like the spacing at all, okay, press edit. Edit, then this button. And it's like group and ungroup. Now, do you see how there's a red box around every one of the words? So if I move them, if I change the size, it's going to change all of them at once. I don't want to do that. I'm going to press it again. Press it again. How come it's doing that? Okay, let me see. Let's see. Group button next to rotate. Press the select button. Oh, press the select button. Okay, so there's all of them. Now press select until only one thing is selected. See, I still don't remember, but you're going to get these instructions, so you'll have it. So press the select button. That makes it only pick one. Okay, so press the select button, make the changes to the words. So I'm thinking like that 2 is about in center. I'm good there. So let's press select, our. I think I want to press select again. There's home. I'm going to go to move and move it down a little bit. And okay. Then the size. I'm still on home. See how it still has the red boxes? So size. I want to make home a little bigger. Okay, I like what that looks like. Okay, now, okay. Press select down here. Now it's selecting everything. I better go backwards. There, okay. So I think 2. So I selected 2. Move. I'm going to move that up. About there. And then select again. Oh, wrong. Select the other way. You could click through everything. If you went in one direction, just keep clicking until it surrounds, the red boxes surround the word that you want to change. I'm thinking I want to move that up. I'm looking here. I have more space here than I have above the welcome. So I think I'm going to go backwards. Now it has welcome. And I think I'd like to make welcome just a little bigger. So I'm going to, first, I think I'm going to move it down a little bit. So I'm just going to eye judge it. And I'm feeling like my spacing up above is looking good. Maybe 2 could come up again. But I think I'd like welcome just a little bit bigger. So I went size, made it bigger. So see, you can just keep editing and editing. So see, my W now is going to touch that stitch and the E isn't. I'm just going to move it over a couple clicks. I think I'm good. And you just decide what you want. There's 2. I think I'm going to move that up a little farther. So once you like what you see, okay, so I say keep going until you have made all your changes. Then press OK. Now we need to sew the back to the front, right? So we're going to add IQ Designer, pocket with the arrow pointing out, plain rectangle. So I want to do the whole outline this time. So the plain rectangle, okay. And then line properties, straight stitch. Okay, so here's straight stitch, orange, just because I haven't used orange. And then okay, line bucket. Click on the line to turn it orange. Okay, and then next, that's the stitch length. Doesn't matter, it's going to be at a 2 stitch length. That sounds good. So set, okay. Now memory, save on the machine. And then you go to embroidery and you're ready to sew it out. So I have the steps, hoop the nose. So you guys, like you can refer to the other ends of the videos to how we fold our fabric and how we, but it would take too long for me to sew it out. It's 61 minutes, but you will end up with this, and now I'm finally happy. So do what you like, whatever you like, but now I want you to start on the next project. Are we doing okay with time? The next project is really easy. It won't take very long.
Yep.
Okay, so we're doing good. Okay, so we will post these directions, the new improved version, and I'll have PJ I put the new picture in, and then he'll put it on the site. So now we'll have 3 of these. So, okay. But now I want to show you how to make the circles. So I'm giving you homework. So for next Friday, I want you to have 4 of these circles sewn out. Okay? Homework. You too, PJ. You gotta, so here is my circle. Okay. I'm not happy with how I did mine. So, because like I have where I had the opening right there in the most important spot. So I got to figure out the best place to put the ugly part of the circle, or I had to spend a little more time doing it and maybe slip stitching it so it doesn't look so bad. All I did is fuse it shut. But I want you to make 4 of these. Okay, so I saved it, right? Maybe I better double check. Memory, save on the machine. Now, you know that you could go in and change the words, right? So you could go return. So you could have this little wall hanging in there and have it ready for any occasion. And I'm going to slide this up until I see the words and click on the words and then delete. Click on the word to, delete all the words, and then add the font and put a different saying. So I challenge you to do that. Can you do a bean stitch? Oh yeah, you can. Or where you fold it to make the pretty daisy. A bean stitch or a straight stitch where you fold it. Yes, yeah. So we're going to do that. Yeah, we're going to do that next week. So, okay, look at MSQC's. Missouri Star Quilt Company's circle pattern.
And then there was a question up here I wanted you to see. This is a good question.
Yes, for sure. Melody, for sure. Your Brother Dream Machine. So it's just a few different buttons. So the Brother Dream Machine 2 is the same as a Destiny. So yes, definitely. Do you want to make the batting one a little smaller? Yeah. So that's, we are going to do that for the circle. So I thought, I didn't want to add anything to this project, but in the circle, we're going to do it. Okay. So what it is, Tommy, when he digitized the puffy, so he puts the inner form, it's really thick. It's what we use in tote bags to make them stand up. And so if he makes the tack down for the inner form or the soft and stable, a little smaller than the fabric piece so that the fabric is sure to cover it. And we're going to do that for the circles. Okay. All right. We're going to do it. Okay. So she says, look at Missouri Star Quilt Company's circle pattern. So there must be something in there that,
look at it.
yeah. So everybody afterwards, Go find her circle pattern. There must be something there that might help us. Yeah, because I was just going by a photo, and I'm not really a quilter, so I wasn't sure how to do the cathedral window. So, okay, so we are just gonna, I hate to like press the button, but we are gonna go home and okay. I saved it, I think, 2 times. Okay, so to do the circle, we're going to go into now. Okay, those of you with like Destiny, Altair, Meridian, remember that your largest hoop is 9.5 wide. So you're going to want to do your banner. You can do everything the same except make your banner about 9.25. So just 9.25, and then you'll be able to do everything else the same. Because your height can go to the 13. It's just your width can't go to 10. All right. So, okay. So we're forgetting about that project now because we want to move on to next week, because today we're going to make our circles, and then next week we're going to make the petals of the sunflower. And so I'm going to experiment during the week and see what Fancy Fill looks like, because I did mine plain, and when I flip it open, to me it's missing something. I don't know what. I just didn't want to make it too much detail, but now I'm thinking I'd like a Fancy Fill, right? Yeah, PJ's shaking his head. What do you think? Yeah. Oh, okay, it's a 10-inch plastic template. Okay, for doing the cathedral window. Okay, where to cut and turn the circle. Wonderful. I'm going to look that up. Remind me, PJ, because I'll forget.
Okay.
Okay. All right. So here we are. We're going into IQ Designer, Shapes, the circle. Okay. Size. So we're going to go to size and the keypad. For some reason, I think my mouse is going to a blank area. There we go. I'm holding it in the right spot. Now, 10.25. I just always make it like 1/4 inch smaller because we're dealing with a lot of thickness. And I'm worried that if I take it all the way up to 10 5/8, it might be too thick. I don't know, too close to the edge. So 10.25 set by 10.25. You can use your buttons to just stretch it. So 10, and so again on the Destiny, Meridian, Altair, and like machines, like the brother machines, you will go to 9.25 and instead of the 10.25. Okay, so okay, memory, save on the machine. And I put on my notes that is going to be the black circle, and that is going to be the placement and tack down for my batting. So it's at 10.25, okay? So line properties, straight stitch, red, and okay. Line bucket, click on the line to turn it red. Next. This is where I tell it what size the straight stitch is, and 2 is fine. So set, okay. Edit, I want another one. Edit, copy, it's right below rotate. Press copy, they're not one on top of each other. So what do? We have to either press the size or move button in order to get to that centering button. Now I like to press select, so to select the circle that's underneath and press center. And I want you to watch right there, press center. See how the line got thinner? So that told me they weren't one on top of each other until I press center. So now I have 2 of them. So I have the placement line for my batting, the tack down line for my batting. Now I need a bigger circle to tack down the fabric. So I'm just going to say, okay, then add IQ Designer, shapes, the circle, okay, size, right here next to rotate, size, and why? Oh, no, I pressed the circle. I didn't need to do that. Well, you know what, I'm going to leave it there. Remember, I saved it, so I could have pressed pocket with the arrow pointing out. But hey, I'm here, so you could do it either way. I'm going to go up to the keyboard, and I just made the second circle a little bit bigger. So the first one was 10.25. Now this one, I'm just going to make 10.4. So I could have got a little bit bigger. Tommy said for me to go up a 1/4 inch, and then that would make it an 1/8 inch bigger all around. I was afraid to do it. I went just a hair smaller, but I think I would have been okay either way. So 10.4 by 10.4. Okay. Line properties. So line properties, straight stitch, green. Okay. Click on the line to turn it green. Oh, I didn't press bucket. Line bucket. Click on the line to turn it green. And that is going to be the tack down for the fabric. So that is the 10.4 circle. So I want to go memory, save on machine. So the black circle is 10.25. The green circle is 10.4. All right, next.
So somebody asked, why can't you copy and paste?
I could have.
You could have?
Yeah, you could do it any way. You could do it 3 different ways. You could save it, bring it in from the pocket. You could, I could have, copy and paste. See, it wasn't on the screen anymore. So, or could have, yeah. So any way you want to do it. Yeah, it'll work. Okay, so, all right, so there I go. So green, memory, save on the machine. Then I press set, stitch length is A-OK. So set, what do I have there? I don't recognize that right there. So let's just zoom in. Let's go zoom into 200, pan. Do you think I bumped my screen? Let's go to 400. I think I might have like a little stitch there. I can't see anything. I don't remember that square being there. It's not going to affect anything. Let's just leave it. Okay. If it shows a little dot, that's fine. But I think that's what I did. I think I must have bumped my screen when I went to click on. But yeah, remember, I didn't select line bucket. So let's just see. Let's press the arrow. No. There. So it selected that little stitch. So I could go back. I could return and zoom in. I'd have to zoom in really far and pan. I'm going to slide straight up. There it is. There it is. So I did. Remember I didn't press line bucket. So I clicked on the screen and I made a little stitch there. So I'll just grab the eraser and erase it. Okay, then okay. And then next. All right, so we tacked down our fabric. Now what do we need? We need to add a fancy fill. Okay, so we are going to go to set, okay, add, IQ Designer, pocket with the arrow pointing out. I want the green circle because that's the bigger circle. If I pick the smaller circle, my fancy fill won't go all the way to the edge. Okay, so the green circle because it's the bigger one. Okay. Fill properties, so that's this area right here. You can see the fill stitching there. So go to the piece of paper below that, and then fancy fills, select, and pick what fancy fill you want. I went with this one. You could pick whatever one you want. I don't know. The lattice, I really like this one right here. So I'm going to select that one, 22. Now I picked 025. So right here, this one. But you don't have to. You can pick whatever one you want. Okay, so I'm going to go, let's just do how I did it. 025, but I don't want you to do it. I want you to pick the one you want. Okay, then okay. Fill, okay, then the color. So I picked the 025, the fancy circles, then blue, just because it's a color I haven't used yet. Okay, fill bucket, and then click inside the circle to make it no-so. Then next, and See, I wasn't sure how big it was going to be, so I just couldn't judge. I always said I wish we had a printer button on the machine, and we could print out an actual size picture of the whatever design we have on our screen, because so maybe somebody from the whoever does the software, don't you agree we would like a printer button so we could print out an actual size picture of the embroidery design?
I agree.
I would really like that. I don't, no one ever asks me, so I don't think, but maybe somebody else thought of it. That's what I'm hoping for. Yeah. So, but I don't know. Okay. So, because then I wouldn't have to play around right when on that screen. It doesn't look like my fancy fill would be that big, but it is. So sometimes you don't really get to see it until you've sewn it, and it's like, bummer, I would have made it smaller. But actually, I did. I ended up liking it because I didn't want it too busy. I wanted to be able to see those flowers that I have underneath. Okay, but remember the poinsettia one there underneath fabric was plain, so you may like it that way. Okay, so here we are, and now I don't want it to sew the green line, right? So let me see. Okay.
You can save it on a USB, then go to a computer and print it out.
Yeah, well, but it's
Too many steps?
Well, it's not a
I don't know.
JPEG. It's
not
not
a JPEG.
No.
Oh.
Yeah, I don't know what it is at this
Wirelessly
point.
send to printer.
Yeah.
I think that would be.
Yes. It's why you could do it.
wonder-
If you could send a design, I don't know, but maybe that's it. It's not a JPEG.
Lena agrees and Deb agrees.
Yeah, everybody agrees. Yeah, they got to start. They got to start. It would really help, because
Yeah.
often we don't really want to use software. You could do it in software. You could in Palette 11, and we're going to
Sure.
start doing
Mhm.
our Palette 11 classes again. But I just find the software that they put on the machine so easy, and right, we can all do it. And I feel I'll try to learn Palette 11, but I'm having so much fun on the machine. I really don't
Why do
have
you wanna
any
leave your
interest in.
machine?
Yeah, I don't have any interest in learning the software. I hate to say.
Mhm.
Tommy loved learning it.
A lot of people
But,
do.
Yeah, a lot of people like learning software. Yeah,
Sure.
right? But me, no, I don't. Okay. Oh, that's right. Most printers don't print 10-inch wide. Oh, we need a printer that will print.
If your machine
Wider.
could just print it out for you.
Yeah, your
that'd be cool.
machine.
And do your-
If your machine could take a printer cartridge. At one point they said they were trying, now this is years ago, they were trying to put printer ink cartridges in the machines, and the machines would dye the thread as it went through.
Wow.
But they said they couldn't make it color fast, so they had to nix that. And remember, a long time ago, they tried putting a laser in sewing machines, and it would, when polyester was really big, it would melt the fabric together, but they said it was too dangerous. It was too dangerous, so they had to nix that. Who knows what they're trying to do? They don't tell us what they try to do. So maybe someday I'll meet the people who do the designing, and I can tell them. But so far I haven't met them. So maybe someday. Okay. All right. So where was I? Okay. So I clicked inside the circle to fill it. Right now it's going to do a straight stitch around. And for some reason, I told it, okay, so here's the size. So I told it, okay, so return. So let's go next. So I don't really need it to sew that straight stitch, but it really doesn't hurt anything. So for some reason I decided that line needed to be a no-sew, and right now it's satin stitch, so it's a good thing we went back and looked. So line properties, straight stitch, or we went no-sew, okay. And then we clicked on this green line, it's really hard to see. And then, okay, and then next. Okay. Now we'd like to do the outline on. So outline is off, so outline on. Okay. It's still green. We better look. Okay, let's go here. No, it's straight stitch. We're okay. Look at, I still have that dot. We're not going to worry about it. But I still have that dot. See how I have a red box around it? Mm-hmm. So let's see what else. There's straight stitch. And then I got my fancy fill. Okay, so I think I'm good. All right, and then, okay, so I put outline on, and then all I'm going to do is save it. Memory, save on the machine, set. Okay, now what do I need to do? I need to sew the back to the front. And I can't do it my old way where I fold it, because you don't want that fold on the back. I need a solid piece on the back. So I have to leave an opening for turning it. So add IQ Designer. I didn't number these yet. So let me see. Then
you didn't
shapes.
Hit the bucket.
I didn't hit the bucket.
A couple people were saying you didn't hit the bucket.
You
skipped the bucket.
I skipped the bucket.
There was a dot there because we didn't save after it was deleted.
Oh, I didn't. Oh, okay. All right. And then you didn't use the full bucket the no-sew. Uh-oh. I don't think I can go back. So we'll just see what my mistake is.
Yeah, okay. You're going to do this again, right?
Yeah. What's that?
Are you going to do this again?
Well, I could, but what time is it? I don't want to keep them. And I also have my 50th high school class reunion.
Oh, you got it. You can't miss that. It's 4:45. So just keep going.
Yeah, keep going so you guys understand. So they said I didn't click on the green line to make it a no-sew. Is that it? And yeah, and I didn't save after I erased the little dot. And so it's still there. So I used a pencil instead of the bucket. Okay. They're catching me, so this is good. Okay. So we'll see what I end up with. Okay, but we need the green circle, the big circle, right? It was the green one. And so, but you know what keeps happening to me is, I have to show you on the banner, okay? What keeps happening to me is I make it the same size, and see how that straight stitch from my tack down is showing. So I decided, so the big circle is 10.4. I don't want that stitch to show, so I am going to make the big circle 10.3, so that straight stitch won't peek out of my seam. Okay, so I'm going to make it just a little bit smaller. So I'm not going to pull the one I put out in memory. I'm going to go to Shapes, Circle, okay, Size. So that one was 10.4. I'm just going to make this one 10.3. I guess I could have gone even a little smaller. So 10.3 set, 10.3 set. Okay, then okay. Eraser. So I'm going to erase a 4-inch section, but I need to turn the grid on in order to see that 4 inches. So settings, page, right here, grid, then 1 inch, okay. Turn on my eraser, and I'm just going to start about right here. It doesn't really matter because it's a circle, so it can be turned in any direction. I'm thinking that's about 1 inch. Oop, I left a little bit of the line. Now I need a bigger eraser. And so here, so I'm thinking I'm about 2 there, maybe right here. I think that's going to be good enough. Yeah. Okay, so there, and then, okay. Line properties, straight stitch, red, okay. Line bucket, click on the line to turn it red. Next, set, and okay. Now, memory, save on the machine. Now, remember when we put a circle on, it wasn't all exactly in center. So I do like to go edit, move, and then center, select center. So I don't even know how many steps. I'm just going to do it like 10 times. We'll see. I'm thinking I'll see here. I did see something just move when I press center. See, something just moved there. There. So I'm just going to do it a bunch of times. I'm still looking right here, and it feels like those two reds are not on top of each other. But it could be I made them different sizes. I think I'm good. So then, okay, and then go to embroidery. Memory, save on the machine, and then embroidery. Okay, so the first thing it's going to do, it's going to tack down our batting. Well, first it's going to do the placement line. Okay, so then I'll go plus minus so we can see the different steps. Then next step is going to be tack down the batting, and we're going to trim away the excess seam allowance. And then next step is to lay my fabric over and then tack that down. Next step is to do the fancy fill on top. Okay, then next step is to lay my yellow fabric down with right sides together and oh no, okay, it's doing a straight stitch. So this isn't, remember we erased, and this one isn't erased. So it's just going to do a straight stitch. And then here's the one where it has the opening. So that right before this step, lay your yellow fabric down right sides together and then stitch, leaving an opening. And then you're going to take it, once that's all stitched, you're going to take it out of the hoop, trim the seam allowance down, not too far down, because as you're turning it, you could poke through. So you want to make sure that you leave like not an eighth of an inch, like at least 3/16 of an inch, probably a 1/4 inch would be even better. And then you're going to turn that right side out and fuse the opening shut. I'll show you this again next week. And then you're going to make 4. So see how you do, okay? And then we will meet back here again next week, and I will show you how to position your fabric together to do the cathedral window shapes. And then we're going to make the petals. And I think we should we're not going to do just one petal in between each cathedral window. So we're going to do 2. So we'll end up making 8 petals. And then what they did is they covered buttons for the center. So I gotta see what we end up with. We may want to do a bigger circle just in case my center doesn't look good, because that circle in the center will cover up anything that doesn't look good. So we will meet you back here. Are we going to sell anything today? Comment Sold has to be happy with what we did last night. So they won't mind it if we don't sell anything. And then I'll go to my reunion.
No, you go to your reunion. Have fun. You
I'm going to go to my reunion.
Fun night.
Yeah, and then I'll tell you guys all about it on Monday for Material Madness, right?
Yeah.
Material Madness at Monday at 3 o'clock.
But they can go find these instructions on our Facebook group page and see the other things that people are working on there.
Yes, our Facebook group, you got to join it. There's like 15,500 people on that group. And we'd like more and more to join. If you could go to our business page, I think we only have like 10 or 11,000 there. And like that page, because we like that number to go up. And thank you all so much for placing all those orders last night. Keep up the good work. And we will meet you back here on Monday for Material Madness.
I promised them I would ask you about 3D flowers. Have you done 3D flowers in IQ Designer?
I haven't, but we could do it. We'll do it. Yeah, we'll do it.
Okay,
so
there you go.
Okay. Well, we'll make that our next project. I have to remember that. I won't remember anything. I don't remember
I'll
anything.
remind you.
Yeah, okay. You help me remember. As I told PJ, we should have like a dry erase board here and jot down notes because there's always things in 5 minutes from now I won't remember. But you know what? I say that's good because we all can't remember, but we can do IQ Designer. I'm your proof that even with bad memory, we can do IQ Designer. So go get to work, and I'll tell you all about my reunion. Okay. All right. Thank you, everybody. We'll see you on Monday. Yeah, I can even show you the project progress that I've made over the weekend. So maybe at 3 o'clock, we'll start out with the progress that I've made, some, changes if I decide to change things. So make sure you tune in to Material Madness, and then you'll see how far I've gotten. Okay?
All right.
All right. We'll see you then. Bye-bye. Thank you all so much.
Thank you.